Welcome back. Tensions escalating between the United States and Iran as multiple attacks hit U.S. warship, the USS Carney, in the Red Sea this weekend. Iranian Houthi rebels taking credit for the drone attack. The U.S. hit back with a strike, and it killed 5 Iranian proxy fighters in Iraq. U.S. forces in Syria and Iraq have now been attacked at least 75 times since October 17th. Joining me right now is Texas Congressman Pat Fallon, a member of the House Oversight and Armed Services Committee. Congressman, your reaction to these 75 attacks on our troops in the Middle East?
Maria, thanks for having me on. It's really incredible. When you project weakness, this is what you get. And that is an incredible figure. It's not just a few times, and that would be a few times too many. It's over 75 times since the middle of October. We have to react. And you know what about bullies and terrorists? If you do nothing, they'll hit you more. They'll continue to do so, just like a bully would. You have to stand up, and there has to be repercussions. President Trump showed that he would go after right to the top. He killed Soleimani.
And this weekend, yesterday, we had the USS Carney really taking hits on these multiple attacks in the Red Sea. What should the response be at this point?
We should use our intelligence and really go after the folks that are ordering these strikes, and then they'll think twice about it. If there are repercussions for them and there are consequences, you will get less of it. But if you do nothing, you get more of it. Unfortunately, that's why I can't believe this administration didn't react after 75 attacks. They finally did, but that's far too long to wait.
Well, it really is extraordinary, this president's response to all of our adversaries, whether it be Iran, Russia, or China. And the China story is particularly troublesome, given what the Oversight Committee has told us in terms of the money that this family has taken from China. Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer was with me yesterday, telling me on Sunday Morning Futures now he feels he has the votes to formalize the Biden impeachment inquiry. A floor vote could happen before lawmakers go on December break. What do you know about this? Do you feel he has the votes?
I do, and I think, I sit on the Oversight Committee with Chairman Comer. He's done a fabulous job, as has staff. I mean, Joe Biden said, Marie, if you remember, in the debates with President Trump, that it was President Trump that took money from China, which wasn't true. It was actually the Biden family. This particular instance where we had, in 2018, an independent bank auditor looking at this saying there's no legitimate reason that this $5 million is sitting in this account, and it looks like it's nefarious and it's sinister. And we know that China targets weak members, vulnerable members of high-ranking officials around the world. That's exactly Hunter Biden. He got a $5 million deal. His cut was $400,000. And gee, wouldn't you know, 40,000 of that, 10% to the big guy, 10%, 40 grand went to Jim Biden, who then gave it to Joe, saying it was a repayment for a loan. But Joe Biden's never come out and showed that he has loaned his brother any money. It's always flowing into Joe. It never flows out.
Yeah, and then we've got that incredible email from a bank, a money laundering expert, the bank regulator, basically pointing out that there's erratic and unusual activity in several of these accounts handled by Hunter Biden. Now, you just mentioned the brother, James Biden. He was subpoenaed to appear before the House Oversight Committee this week. Are you expecting to hear from him, from the president's brother, on Wednesday of this week?
Well, it's going to be very interesting because now there's, legal subpoenas. There's going to be consequences if they don't show up. That's now the president that's been set. So I've got a treasure trove of questions to ask Jim Biden as well as Hunter Biden.
Here's James Comer with me yesterday on this investigation. Do you feel that you have the votes within the House right now to get a formal impeachment inquiry?
I do. And I had a reporter ask, well, what's changed? We were in Washington, D.C. for 10 weeks, and there are about 15 or 20 moderates that they really worry about what CNN says or what the Washington Post writes. And they were getting in their head, Maria. But a great thing happened during Thanksgiving. The members went home. Many of them for the first time and circulated for the first time in over 10 weeks. And they met people in Walmart and people on Main Street. And they're like, what in the world have the Bidens done to receive millions and millions of dollars from our enemies around the world? And did they not pay taxes on it? So they heard from their constituents.
So, Congressman, what does a formal impeachment inquiry get you? And do you expect a floor vote before December 15th when you head out for the holidays?
I do expect a floor vote before we head out for the holidays. And what an official impeachment inquiry, Maria, gets us is it's a lot harder for the administration to resist our subpoenas. And it opens up more tools in our toolbox, if you will. I mean, the Biden family, we know for sure now, has received $24 million from foreign sources, many from folks that are our enemies on the global stage. If you believe the FD 1023, that's an extra $10 million. So now we're at $34 million. And if we had talked about this about a year ago, Maria, we could have only proved $1 million. So that's the difference when you have subpoena power. We've subpoenaed their bank records 8 times, and all 8 times we have found more money, foreign money, flowing to the Bidens.
Meanwhile, when you look at the approval rating of this president, viewers, voters are upset about his handling of the war, handling of the economy, handling of the border, the wide open border. I spoke with Texas Governor Greg Abbott yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures to discuss the House failing to impeach Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. How are we supposed to expect you're going to have success with Joe Biden when you can't even subpoena and impeach Alejandro Mayorkas? Here's Governor Abbott. Watch.
I am surprised that it failed because if ever there was anybody impeachable, it would be Mayorkas for 2 reasons. One, he's failed to do his job in the executive branch. He's failed to execute the laws of the United States of America. That unto itself is an impeachable offense, but also because of his repeated lies to the United States Congress about the safety and security of the border.
What about that, Congressman, and what is the status at the border this morning?
Oh, it's absolutely open and it's chaotic. I mean, my good friend, Homeland Security, the chair of the Homeland Security Committee, Mark Green, Dr. Green is going to, he feels very confident that he'll have votes in regular order to have an impeachment vote in the committee and then refer it to the House. And I do think he should be impeached. I was the first member of Congress in this year to file articles of impeachment on Alejandro Mayorkas. He absolutely should be impeached. In 2006, the Congress passed the Secure Fence Act. And he is violating federal law because he is not securing the border. He does not have operational control. And as Governor Abbott said, he's lied repeatedly to Congress and to the American people.
So what about these buoys in the water? A federal appeals court has ordered Texas to remove the floating barriers. The governor yesterday told me he's going to do everything he can to keep those barriers in place, even if it means taking this case up to the Supreme Court. Has it actually deterred migrants from swimming across from Mexico?
I know it's not that long. I think it's 1,000 feet of barriers, but I'll take any barrier I can get along that southern border. And I am glad that Governor Abbott's going to take it to the Supreme Court. Judge Willett in the appeals court got it right. He was in the dissenting opinion. He said this is not navigable. There's not commercial traffic on this river, and Texas should be able to, secure the border because the federal government has abdicated that responsibility.
All right, we'll leave it there, Congressman. We'll be watching your work on all of these things. Thanks very much for being here this morning.
Thanks, Maria. God bless.